why my headset is like that. I need to do a better taping job, make it more stable so it's more comfortable on my head. But yes, I accidentally snapped my headset. I did that because I was talking to my mom, and while I was talking to my mom, I went out for a stretch, and for whatever reason, I decided to pull my arms this way, and I just snapped it in half. But it still works perfectly fine. The wires are still perfect. I just need to do a better taping job and it'll be good. But yes, my headset is broken. Okay, so today we are watching Kurt Cobain Fooled Us All. Okay, not a super big channel. Let's see what he has to say.
What happened to the baby, designer, Jack Harlow, Lil Nas X, or even Shawn Mendes? In today's music industry, most artists are here today and gone tomorrow. But it's not all their fault. It's the labels willing to pump money into some big hotshot, reap profits, and then leave them out to dry as soon as their 15 seconds of fame runs out. And the consequence? We're getting a lot of mid music. And it's not that these new artists lack talent, skill.
Well, some yes. I'll say some of these artists do lack talent. I'm not gonna lie. That's what they lack. They have like maybe a talent for writing lyrics and stuff like that, but like their singing's not that good sometimes. Their flows aren't that good. Like I'll see like a new rap artist demoing his music on TikTok or like showing like a trailer of it or a preview, and like the flow is just so bad. He will still have people that listen to him. Like there will be like 50, 100 people, which is a decent amount of people. Like that is 100 people if you think about it. But like some of those guys expect to be really big. You're not going to get big if you're not good. I'm just gonna say it. Like a lot of new rap artists aren't good. I'm gonna say it. That's my opinion. You can have yours, but I think it's gone downhill. Um, since it's gone downhill since kind of like the Juice WRLD era. I'm gonna say like when Little Uzi Vert was in his prime, Juice WRLD was in his prime, X was in his prime, Trippy, um, like Little Peep. Those guys s- were our legends, and since then, I feel like the rap industry has gone downhill since then. But that's also my opinion, you know?
Or opportunity. In fact, with the rise of software that allows just about anybody to pick up their laptop and make a song, we're living in what should be a renaissance period for music. But what these new artists lack is a distinct voice, because their sound has been shaped, diluted by formulas that prioritize success over authenticity. In today's landscape,
And by the way, I am faded. I did smoke before this vid. So I am actually really faded. I didn't mean to be this high, but whatever. Whatever.
authenticity feels rare, yet it matters more than ever. When someone real appears, they stand out immediately. And one artist who understood this very well was Kurt Cobain.
Kurt.
What
Yeah.
made Kurt stand out wasn't his musical talent, but it was his refusal to shape his music around what was expected. He created from a place that was real.
Yeah,
and
like he made his music the way he wanted. You know?
he stayed true to that, even after becoming globally recognized. Rather than chasing fame or appearing desperate.
Well, he wasn't chasing it. He actually he really hated it. That's why he would I remember like seeing some vids, right? Like I would see some vids of Kurt Cobain. Like there was one concert. He had to play his biggest song. I think it was Smells Like Teen Spirit. That song, um he he was singing it off beat because he hated it so much because he would constantly have to repeat it. But yeah, that's just some info. A lot of people that are into Nirvana know that though, so it's not like special info, you know.
desperate for attention like so many
Like a lot of
artists
people know
do.
that.
Kurt was indifferent, almost as if he didn't care about musicianship at all, which has led to the common misconception that Kurt was a lazy drug addict who got lucky and became famous. However, when you look closely into Kurt's rise to fame, we see that this was never the case, and in fact, there may have been a whole different side to him.
Wait, I missed it.
We look closely into Kurt's rise to fame, we see that this was never the case.
What is he talking?
That Kurt was a lazy drug addict who got lucky and became famous. However, when you look closely into
Oh
Kurt's
yeah,
rise to fame,
obviously. Yo, he made a bunch of songs. He would write a lot. Like you're not lazy, obviously, and also the tour. You can't call it lazy, but a drug addict. Yeah, he was a drug addict. Um, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it. Yes, that is sad, and that's what ultimately killed him. I know there's conspiracy theories, which I might agree with some conspiracy theories, like possibly Courtney Love might have something to do with it. Don't know for sure, just speculation. But yeah, he was a drug addict. I know a lot of people, and that's what a lot of people use to look down upon him, but you shouldn't because him being an addict doesn't like it's part of him, but it's not him. Like the addict him is different from the real him, if you get what I'm saying. So like yeah, that's part of him, but don't just look at him as an addict. I hate when people do that. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
we see
Use your fucking brain. I fucking hate people. Yes.
that this was never the case, and in fact, there may have been a whole different side to him.
They wanted to believe that Kurt Cobain would roll out of bed, take some drugs, and write a fucking classic. Kurt Cobain, as a lyricist, as a songwriter, as a visionary, was a fucking assassin. He was great at what he did, and it's a shame he didn't do more of it.
The character Kurt Cobain portrayed to the public eye confused many people.
I have no concept of knowing how to be a musician at all whatsoever. I mean, I don't know the names of chords to play. I don't know how to do major and minor chords on a guitar at all. I mean, I couldn't even pass, you know.
Which you don't need to. I play a little bit of guitar, so and I know chords. I'll say what's my favorite chord right now. It obviously will change as future go on because it has changed. My favorite chord right now. I'm gonna say just an E minor, man. That's like once I play a note and then I hit the E minor, I get that tingly feeling, man. So yeah, E minor.
Guitar 101, folk guitar 101, you know.
Well, when I did the interview for that bio,
Really
it
simple too. Like if you ever want to learn guitar, that's the first note you should learn. Like it's super easy.
was 9 o'clock in the morning and I was
And it
hungover,
just
so I don't know
sounds
what I
amazing.
said. I don't even remember.
That's not why you chose the name then.
Now I remember. Yeah, that's why. Sure.
I don't want to harp on the name. It wasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It'll be a household word in no time.
Some conclude that he merely acted like he didn't care, while secretly caring a great deal behind the scenes. But this wasn't a performance.
Well,
What
no.
we'd see and hear
Like I think he cared about like his music obviously and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like the how he came up with the name. He doesn't care about like the basic shit like that. He cares about the music. He doesn't care as much about the band or how people see him and stuff like that. Mainly his main focus is the music, and that's what it should be, you know. And like
Here in his interviews is genuine honesty. We're just often confused by what he really meant. For instance, when Kurt says he hates or has no respect for musicianship, it sounds contradictory, but only someone who understands music on a deeper level would feel compelled to critique it so strongly. Kurt was not indifferent to music. He was deeply
yeah, and
dedicated.
he would really critique himself, and that's why he was so good, because of how much like he wanted, how perfect, like however he imagined, say this song, he imagined this song this way, he wanted it exactly like that. If it wasn't exactly like that and there was a little imperfection, like a tiny bit, he would fix it, because he was really uh like he would really criticize himself about like the music and think about, this is shit, I should do it this way.
Into it,
You
spending
know, like he wasn't afraid to criticize himself
countless hours practicing
because he wanted it perfect.
and refining his craft. His perspective didn't come from ignorance, but it came from immersion.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out or wants to have a musical career?
Just keep practicing and don't give up. Just never give up. Play as often as you can and be really dedicated and try to write good music, and don't worry about the material ethics that go with music. It doesn't matter what you look like or anything. It doesn't matter what your product looks like. It's what it sounds like.
It's natural that someone
Yeah, facts. Spitting straight facts.
so dedicated would develop a deeper
really
understanding of music, how it works, why it works, and the theories behind it. But the musicianship Kurt criticizes is not the understanding of music itself. Rather, it is the over-reliance on that understanding as a formula for creation. When explanation becomes a tool for making art, it can begin to impose limits. It creates a box, subtle at first, but eventually restrictive, making it hard to create outside of it. Kurt recognized this. In his own words, it gets in the way of originality. His rejection of musicianship, then, wasn't a rejection of knowledge, but a rejection of dependence on it.
I'm not into musicianship at all. I don't have any respect for it. I just hate it. You know, to learn how to read music or to understand arpeggios and Dorian modes and all that stuff is just a waste of time. It just you know, it gets in.
Like, do I ever think, I don't know if I will. Maybe I might, I don't know. But I don't think I'll ever read like a music theory book. I keep on getting them on TikTok, man. TikTok keeps on trying to get me to buy it. And it's a book that basically teaches you about music theory, and basically like in the book you will like scroll, right? You're scrolling and you'll find like a chapter and it'll be like on guitar, and then it'll tell you all about the guitar, which it's unneeded information if you want to be good, I feel like, because obviously you don't need to know that to be good. You just gotta practice and be dedicated. But I don't know, dude. I keep on getting ads for them, but probably not gonna buy it. Probably not. I'm like 90% sure probably not gonna buy it. You know,
Way.
because like, why would I, like, I don't even think it's worth the money in my opinion. If it was free, yeah. Like if I just had like some musician talk to me about music theory, then yeah. But I don't feel like I should pay for a book to learn about music theory, in my opinion.
Of originality.
Kurt Cobain wasn't born with this magical talent for music, and he didn't just wake up one morning either with all this knowledge in his possession. Rather, his musical understanding came through years of exploration and discipline, and his refusal to rely on it was equally real. And this balance is what allowed him to create something fresh, something that didn't feel calculated or constrained by a established formulas, and listeners were drawn to that kind of authenticity. A powerful example of this is the creative direction that Kurt chose after Nirvana's massive mainstream success with their album Nevermind. Instead of following the formula that had brought them to the mainstream recognition they had, Kurt took their sound to a whole different place. He created In Utero, an album that felt raw, abrasive, and at times deliberately uncomfortable. And this was an unexpected move, especially from the perspective of the industry and mainstream audiences. From its sonic character to the stark imagery of its album cover, In Utero was not designed to sell in a conventional sense. It actively resisted the polished sound that had defined Nevermind, the polished mainstream sound that Kurt hated so much. And in doing so, it made a clear statement. Kurt was not interested in repeating success. He was interested in expressing his truth. As producer Steve Albini explained, Kurt wanted the album to feel like a human document, not a polished product. To him, imperfections were not flaws to be removed, but evidence of something real, something human. As he once wrote in his journal, "I like mistakes because they remind me someone made this." Ultimately, this reflects the core of who he was as an artist. As he wrote, "I'd rather be hated."
Dude, I just can't get in the thing. Okay, yo. AI music, man. AI music is so shit. So bad, man. It is so bad. And people be listening to it. Some people don't even know it's AI. Some people know it's AI and they think it's good. Oh my god, man, there's no soul. Also, even if, let's say, I agree with an AI song being good, am I gonna listen to it? No, that's fucking AI, man. That's fucking AI. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing that shit. That is not music. That is not music. A fucking robot? Yo, where's the soul? Music needs soul. They can pretend to have soul, but they're just pretending. It's not real.
For who I am than loved for who I am not. However, Kurt didn't always think this way. Before Nirvana blew up, Kurt actually did want to be famous before he knew what it would really be like.
Kurt was like, he was counterculture, but then he also really wanted to be really famous. Like he was like,
yeah, like obviously, like when you're not known, you would want to be recognized, and you want to be famous. But then when you have to deal with the paparazzi, like when you're famous, then you realize you have to deal with the paparazzi. Then also you have to deal with stalkers. Then you have to deal with people following you around. You also have to deal with, you can't go to a fucking park with your family because if you did that, people would just pester you. Like, yeah, it's not all good, you know. A lot of negative things come from
like a
it.
windmill, and he would just say one thing and then he would like change his mind on it.
As Chris Novoselic once explained, Kurt lived in this contradiction. He rejected mainstream culture, yet at the same time, he wanted to reach it. And Kurt understood something that most artists didn't. If you want people to like everyone else, you have to disrupt. So that's exactly what he did. He leaned into being controversial, unpredictable, uncomfortable. He challenged interviews, mocked the media, and went directly against what the industry expected an artist to be.
You know, every once in a while I look at the Billboard charts and I just go, crap, just like I always have, you know.
And this wasn't because he didn't care. Rather, it was because Kurt knew that it was what people wanted. They didn't want another sellout pop star who smiled for cameras and said the right things, but they wanted a rebel, someone who stood against the system and the industry as a whole.
No magazine has any ethics at all. There isn't any magazine that would... Yeah, a mainstream magazine that would ever, you know, stop a good story. You know, they want to sell magazines. They're in the entertainment business.
Yeah, that's
and they use
the point.
you know, they use politics as some kind of fucking fake tool to sell their magazines.
Right.
And this philosophy worked, but it wouldn't be the only thing that got him to the top. Many believed Kurt to be some lazy, naturally talented punk who just fell into his success. But this couldn't be further from the case, because behind the facade, Kurt Cobain was obsessed.
How many
Yeah, I
nights do you
did
think
know
there,
that he was obsessed with music, and that's a good thing.
long before Nirvana, that he sat in a fucking basement trying to figure out, why does this chord go with this chord? And listen to Nirvana's early demos, listen to Nirvana's first album, listen to the second album. His voice is changing. It's not just changing physically, he's finding the character of Kurt Cobain.
Before Nirvana was big, Kurt was doing everything in his power to promote the brand, booking shows, cold contacting labels, and writing songs relentlessly. It seems as if Nirvana sort of just blew up overnight, but they didn't. It took years of playing in empty rooms, driving across states in broken vans, and late nights rehearsing over and over until the sound felt right.
You know, Kurt was a very disciplined when it came to his art, contrary to his slacker image. And they rehearsed for months in a rehearsal studio in
like 6 months
in Burbank for like 3 months.
Oh, okay.
8 to 10 hours a day before going into the studio.
But Kurt made sure we never saw this side of him. He wanted to portray the I don't give a fuck rebel against society persona that people loved, because to him, looking like a tryhard was the worst thing you could be.
You know, Kurt.
Well, technically, not really. Like, if you care about music, but a lot of people make fun of, let's say, rock artists because it looks like they're trying too hard to become a rock artist. You know? So he didn't want people to see him as him trying to be someone who he's not.
Was just as ambitious as I was. He just hid it a lot better.
Yeah.
And he did hide it because that was part of his art. He didn't want to look like he was Mr. Show Business. And he wasn't Mr. Show Business. When he became successful, he never went to Hollywood parties, didn't buy an expensive car, didn't get designer clothes,
wasn't on MTV Cribs.
Although portraying a persona that seemed to not care about.
I heard that, so I've never watched that show, but I've seen some clips from MTV Cribs. I think that's what it called. If it's true, I think MTV Cribs is when basically they'll have like some celebrity or someone that's like known or kind of famous, and basically then they just walk around their house. Well, I heard that some of the people on there used fake houses. Like, they had fake houses. It wasn't their real house because their house didn't look that good. And I thought that was crazy, man. Like, oh my gosh, man. Like, why would you do that? Like, who cares? Who cares, man? Who cares? Oh, my house isn't big. Like, their actual house isn't big, so then they had to rent out a big house because they didn't want to look poor or something. Like, that's just so crazy to me. How so much people are scared of looking poor, man. Like, bro. Stop being sensitive.
Kurt was actually a big advocate for what he believed in, and he utilized his platform to speak out. Kurt was a big feminist and believer in rights for the LGBTQ community. In 1992, when Nirvana released their compilation album,
look at him. Look at a little Kurt Cobain. Look at him. Well, I don't know why I said little Kurt Cobain, but look at Kurt Cobain. Look at, he's smiling. He's happy.
Nirvana released their
He's happy in this. That's awesome. You know? See him smile.
Compilation album, and Testicide, Kurt famously wrote, if any
he has a great smile.
in any way
he has a really great smile. I'm not gonna lie.
Hate homosexuals, people of a different color, or woman, please do this one favor for us. Leave us the fuck alone. Don't come to our shows, and don't buy our records. A statement that shows just how serious Kurt was about what he believed in. If you couldn't tell by now, Kurt wasn't stupid, he wasn't lazy, but he was actually extremely intelligent. However, tragically, this same intelligence would be what would lead to his downfall.
He was really intelligent. I do agree with that.
Because the bigger he got and the deeper his understanding became of the industry, of fame, of people, the harder it became for him to exist within it. In 1993, an interview from Advocate magazine asked him, "Who do you trust now?" In his response, Kurt stated, no one. I've always kind of kept myself purposely."
Same. The only people that I really trust, to be honest, family, but only certain family members. So, like, it's not all my family, but yes, so I do trust only certain family members. But yeah, that's really it. I don't really, yeah. But I would like if I had a friend, I would if in order for me to like have a friend, I would obviously have to trust him. I only have good friends, so but I don't have friends right now. Like I have none. So um uh which is kind of sad, but it's fine. I'm fine with it. I know some motherfuckers are gonna be like, "Oh, that's so sad. You're a loser or something." I don't even know. But uh, it's for me. I would rather have no friends than people that are shitheads. Okay, but I've had good friends in the past. I've had met really good people. Um, things happened. Sad story, but yeah. So like, um, yeah, I will only have good friends. And if they're not good friends, I won't call them a friend. I would call them like an associate. If they're not an actual real friend, because sometimes you need to like be nice to do this guy or suck up to this guy, because if you do that, then it'll help you in the end. But those people I don't call friends, because technically I am technically using them, but I don't pretend, like, I guess I pretend to be their friend, but it's not like I'm hanging out with them. They're just associates.
Naive and optimistic, and now I've been forced to be really
But
paranoid,
yes,
judgmental.
I'm fine. I'm fine without having friends. I know some people aren't, but I'm fine with having no friends. I'm okay with that. Okay.
Really defensive all the time. When Kurt became famous,
But
those
would I want friends? Yeah. But I haven't really met someone with like the same interests as me in a while. So until that happens, still won't have friends.
around him began to change. Everything around him began to feel fake, and he started to lose his passion for making music. What once felt like expression started to feel like expectation, and fame, the thing he would thought that he once wanted, became something he couldn't escape. Every word he said was analyzed, every move he made was watched, every part of him turned into something consumable, and Kurt saw through all of it. He saw the machine. He was too aware, too honest, and too real to become a part of it. Too smart to be an industry puppet. And maybe that's why Kurt Cobain still resonates over 30 years later. Not because of the music. Don't get me wrong, it's great, and I love many of Nirvana's songs. But I think the reason why Kurt resonates is because of what he represented. Authenticity, raw emotion, and a refusal to conform. In a world where music feels optimized, packaged, designed for attention, Kurt was the opposite. He never tried to fit in.
Yeah, and I just hate like when just celebrities sometimes would just treat their fans like shit. I get it, like treating the paparazzi like shit. Yeah, treat them like shit, okay? Because a lot of the paparazzi are scumbags, but but when an artist, like some person just comes up, asks for a picture, and they like outgoingly like use energy to be rude, I think it's crazy. Like for instance, I don't know who it was, but basically there was an artist singing and some guy hopped up on stage, right? I guess you could say he might have had a gun, so you could justify it, but I still won't justify it. He had his arms up and was dancing or going up to him, but I think he had his arms up. But anyways, moral of the fucking story, he went up to like see his favorite artist, and the artist just started punching him. Man, he just goes, the fan walks up, he just goes boom, just fucking lays him, man. Just fucking haymaker right to the fucking jaw. I thought that was crazy, man. Like, motherfucker actually like got in that, like actually like leaned in. Like he put his weight in. Like he wanted to hurt that motherfucker. So I thought that was insane, man. Like that's crazy that.
And that's exactly why his music and legacy lives on in the youth and younger generations of the modern era. Because realness doesn't expire, and it's what separates artists whose influence extends for generations to come and other artists.
Well, that is my cup. This is my cup. But this is my cup from yesterday. This is my cup from today. Yesterday, today. Costa Rica. When I went there. Good vacation. Well, not the best vacation, but I did have a really good time. I will say that. Because I will say this. I had a really good time because, so in Costa Rica, it's kind of similar to Mexico a little bit, but not. Because this is what I'll say. In Costa Rica, I left the resort and was literally like in forest. I was by myself in the forest, and I was walking through the creek. And then in the forest, like, there's people living. I don't think I was walking in people's backyards. I might have been. But either way, nice people. I wouldn't think I would get killed. But yeah. So Costa Rica was awesome. I know there always is danger when you leave the resort. I just didn't give a shit. So yeah. Could have been a stupid decision, but Costa Rica was really nice. I never had problems with any of the people there. Actually, one dude, I called him a bitch. He was some big guy, though. He was some big guy. He, like, either walked in front of me or something, like, or was taking up the path. He did something, and he was an asshole. I'm just gonna say that. I don't remember what he did exactly, but he was a dickhead. Let me tell you that. He had a family and shit. He was just a dickhead. So, yeah. I got mad at him. And then he started laughing at me. Which, yeah, that's the best response you can get. Like, him laughing at me and not doing anything shows that, he's, like, in control of his, if anger or something like that. But I'm just gonna say, guy's a dickhead anyways. Guy's a dickhead. So,
Your 15 seconds of fame.
I think I did right. Okay, by calling him a fucking bitch. Because, and by calling him a dickhead. Like, that's my opinion, though.
Before falling off the edge of the earth for the rest of eternity. And if
'Cause
there's
he was a
anything
dickhead.
you can take from this
I remember,
video today,
he made me
as
really
an
mad, bro. He made me really mad. And it wasn't the first time I saw him. I saw him twice. Yeah, and he, like, it made me mad. He made me mad. I was really
artist or creative in any field, stop chasing trends. It's not about going viral. Create for the right reasons and stop desperately seeking it.
Create because you want to create, and create the music you want to create. Don't create the music people want you to create, because that's just going to be, yeah, you might be successful, but you're probably not going to enjoy it as much.
Attention from others. Remain true to yourself and use your platform to advocate for whatever it is you choose. Work hard and enjoy the process. Don't be too attached to the outcome or results. And who knows, maybe someday your work will resonate with kids decades down the line.
Apparently you can go from zero.
Well, I just accidentally clicked on Joe Bart vid. Or no. My next vid. What? Why was Joe Bart, why was he in the title? Yo, oh, because it just went down. It was, okay, it was like, it was the bottom. I forget, fucking YouTube does that shit. When you are on a video and you go and it just has a million fucking, or like 10 videos on the bottom. I thought it was going to that, but yes, this is another video I'm gonna watch later. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I actually will like that.
Have you ever wondered what happened to the baby designer? Have you ever wondered what happened?
Okay, I'll like it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.